And welcome to our tour of the Norwegian Gem. Today we're going to start up on the 12th deck and the Garden Cafe, which is the buffet on board. You'll see as you come in the door here past the hand washing stations. It's got a mostly circular design with stations on the right and on the left. Depending on the time of day, these will be set up with either breakfast, lunch, or dinner type of entrees, as well as late night snacks. They have a late night menu as well. We'll walk around here. We'll see it's a fairly long and narrow space, so once we get past where the serving stations are, there's a lot more seating. We'll have a drink station up here on the right. And as we make it to kind of the 2/3 point of the buffet, we'll just swing back around and outside here, still on deck 12, and we're going to cut across. And what we'll see is there is La Cucina, which in the evening, La Cucina is the Italian specialty restaurant. But during the breakfast hours, they'll sometimes use this to extend the space so that you've got additional space for dining. But we'll cut back across here and make our way through the remainder of the buffet. And what we'll see as we cut in here towards the very back of the ship, there's actually a really nice seating area right over here on the right hand side. It's nice and quiet, and they have a TV where they show sports, so if you want to catch up on sports, this is a good place to sit. But we'll continue out back as we go through the doors here. Now on the very back of deck 12, you'll see that they have an outdoor buffet called the Great Outdoors. This basically duplicates everything that's on the inside. A lot of times it's a little bit less busy than what's in the inside, so it's a quieter place. And especially in the morning, it's a nice place to grab your breakfast and sit out and dine in the fresh air. Now we'll turn in. We're going to walk up to the back of the ship on deck 13. Alright, now up on deck 13, we're going to find the sports court. The sports court is set up for basketball and for soccer. They'll have both organized events throughout your cruise that you can participate in, as well as just open times to use the facility on your own. Also on the back of deck 13 here, we get a really nice view, especially in the morning when it's quiet. And as you can see today, we can see Perfect Day at Coco Key as well as Great Stirrup Key. It's also nice too, they have the lights here as we're walking along the jogging track. So even at night, it's a good place to come out. You get a great view. As far as jogging tracks go, as you can see, it's fairly narrow, so unless you're out here really early in the day like we are now, it's hard. Continuing on, we'll see that they have a little driving range set up here on deck 13, but we're going to turn and head up to deck 14, where we're going to find something very unique on a Norwegian cruise line ship, and something that we typically find on a Royal Caribbean ship. And here we'll see they have some stadium style seating overlooking the sports court for when they do tournaments. But here it is. Norwegian Gem has a rock climbing wall. So it's not only on Royal Caribbean you can catch a rock climbing wall. As far as I'm aware, this is the only Norwegian ship I've ever been on that has one. And while we were here, you can see over there at Perfect Day Coco Key, but we'll turn and head back towards the front of the ship up here on deck 14. Now reaching the back of the deck here, we're going to run into a secured area, which is access to the Haven staterooms, as well as an access door here, which leads up to a private Haven sun deck. We don't have access to that, so we're going to turn and head on down. Now back on deck 13, we'll see that they also have a driving range area set up over here on this side. And then as we continue forward, you'll see that they have a shuffleboard court all set up. And then as we get further along here, you'll see that they have an extra large size chess set. They do have pieces for this, and they will set this up. And continuing on towards the front of the ship, over here on the right where you see all the big glass windows, that would be where Cagney's is at, which is the steakhouse. And then as we continue further forward up, we're going to see another set of windows, and that will be the Brazilian Steakhouse, which is one of the other specialty restaurants here on Norwegian Gem. Now as we get past that, we're going to see it's going to open up down below onto the pool deck, which you can see is a nice big open space, big pool. Got multiple hot tubs, as well as a stage that's in the middle where they would do shows throughout the cruise, live music. But we'll turn here on deck 13 and head towards the back again so that we can walk in here, and what we'll see is to the right is the Sugarcane Mojito Bar, which they had set up for a private event, so we didn't have access at this time. And then as we turn to the left here, here is the entrance to Cagney's. Alright, and exiting back onto deck 13, we're going to turn and face forward. And we're going to see up here on either side of the pool deck, up on deck 13, there is an awful lot of seating. So even on a busy sea day when everybody's at the pool, as we continue forward on deck 13, up here on the left-hand side, we're going to come up to the Bali High Bar and Grill. This is basically a secondary pool bar area. It's got a quiet seating area off to the side of it there where they've got a TV and sports. Also, they will serve up basic cookout fare on most sea days, so burgers and hot dogs and such. Now walking inside at the very front of deck 13, we're going to find our way into the Spinnaker Lounge. Right before we get there on the left-hand side, you'll see that this ship still has a chapel. Turning back, see Spinnaker Lounge. Spinnaker Lounge has a 180-degree view around the very front of the ship. It's a great place to go during the day. It's nice and quiet if you want to bring a coffee, just relax. At nighttime, they have lots of shows here. They also have a huge bar. Embarkation Day, also a very nice place to be if you don't want to be out on the pool deck with the sail away party. You can grab some drinks with friends and just hang out and do your own thing. Exiting outside at the front of deck 13, and we're going to head up onto deck 14 from here. Here we'll find at the very front of the ship on deck 14 another sun deck. with great views all around. You can see the new dock going in at Great Stirrup Quay. And then we can pan around, we see all the construction that they have going on now as part of their expansion. At the very front of deck 14 here, they have a really beautiful lookout spot. At the very top of the ship, you can see almost forever. Heading back towards the pool deck on deck 14 here, we see on the left-hand side there is a staircase that's going to take us up to a level 15. Level 15 is just another area here where you can get your own space. It has a lookout down onto deck 14 sun deck and then down onto the pool area as well. Now back on deck 12, on the main pool deck, we'll see Topsider's Bar and Grill. This is the main pool deck bar. Additionally, like Bali High, one level up, it does serve classic cookout fare for lunch. So if you want to get a burger or a dog, this is your spot to do that. And we get a closer look at the hot tubs, both pools, and then we're going to swing around and head towards the front of the ship again on deck 12. And we're going to find a quieter area of the ship up here as we go through the doors. Over on the right hand side, first we come to the photo studio. And continuing on, we're going to come to the card room. Inside the card room here, they have lots of tables. Of course, ocean view out the windows. And then they have a collection of cards and games available for use. Continuing back forward, we're next going to come up to the library. So another quiet space. Tables and chairs, as well as a collection of books which are available for you to rent out. Continuing forward, we're going to find ourselves heading up towards the spa. For privacy reasons, we're not going to go in there. Alright, we're going to cut across to the other side of deck 12 here, where we're going to find the fitness center. The fitness center isn't huge, but it does have a good selection of both weight machines as well as treadmills and other cardio equipment. Also has a beautiful view with full height windows looking out. But we're going to continue down with our tour onto deck 11. Down here on deck 11, at the very front of where all the cabins are at, we're going to find a bridge viewing room, which is kind of unique and you don't see that often. Deck 10 and deck 9 are staterooms only, so we're going to head down to deck 8 in the middle of the ship, and we're going to find ourselves in Oceans. Oceans is the sports bar and pub on the ship. It's got beautiful views down onto the Atrium. So when they've got entertainment tonight, they have both seats looking directly down as well as tables. Oceans is open 24 hours a day. So if you need food, It doesn't matter what time you can come in. They've got a breakfast menu, lunch and dinner menu, as well as a late night menu. They also have a full bar. And we're going to go down to deck 7. And we're going to find ourselves at the Bliss Ultra Lounge. Bliss Ultra Lounge is the nightclub on the ship. It doesn't open until late, but on short sailings like this one, which was a 3-night cruise, the nightclub gets an awful lot of use. Alright, leaving Bliss Ultra Lounge here at the back of deck 7. You'll see straight ahead is the art gallery. We're going to cut across over here. One of the nice things about deck 7 is deck 7 has an outdoor promenade deck. The outdoor promenade deck, if you're looking for a quieter place to get, closer to the water without all the noise and the people that you find up on the pool deck, this is a great place to come. You can actually walk all the way around or jog all the way around. Depending on the area, they even have seating set out. So you could grab a coffee and come and sit down in the morning or come out at night for a walk after dinner. But we're going to turn and head forward on deck 7 again, and we're going to come into the photo gallery. So throughout the course of your cruise, you'll have opportunities to get portraits taken, which is totally free. If you want to come and check out your portraits and consider purchasing them, the photo gallery is the place to go. Continuing forward on deck 7, we're going to walk from the photo gallery out into the atrium. The main atrium is really lovely. It's open, it's bright. We'll see over here on the right hand side they've got a gift shop set up, and then as we pan we'll see the atrium bar, which is always packed. We see the big screen where they do presentations, the piano for live music. We'll pan around and we'll see the next cruise desk and then guest services. We'll also see stairways there that lead us back up to Oceans. So Oceans and the atrium are very tied together. We'll continue to the far side of the atrium where we find our Starbucks, which is conveniently located again back out to the promenade deck. This makes it easy to get your morning coffee or an afternoon coffee and head out on to the promenade for some fresh air. Alright, walking back inside on deck 7, and now we're going to head forward. As we head forward here and we get past the elevator lobby, we're going to come up to a hallway where they've got windows out onto the promenade deck, as well as some nice seating. This is also a good place if you want to get your morning coffee and come and find a quiet place to relax. It's generally very quiet in the morning. As we proceed on, we'll come to another secondary atrium, which is 2 stories. And then continuing forward again, we're going to come up to the Orchid Garden, which is an Asian restaurant, which is included. There's no extra cost for this, as well as the sake bar. It is generally pretty popular, so you want to get here early, as there tends to be a little bit of a wait. Also accessible from this venue is going to be the teppanyaki restaurant, which is a specialty restaurant and has an extra fee. But teppanyaki is always a good time. Good food and a great show. We're going to continue on deck 7, further forward, and we're going to come into trade winds, which is going to be the main shopping area for the ship. It's a little bit different on most ships. You see the shopping area very closely wrapped in with everything else, so that you really have to go through the area and see the shopping. And on Norwegian Gem, at the very front of the ship here, if you didn't want to go into the shopping area, you'd never even need to see it, because it's very isolated. Still, they have all the things you come to expect from cruise ship shopping. They've got watches, they've got jewelry, they've got NCL branded souvenirs, of course, and sundries. We're going to continue forward, and we'll see an entrance to the Stardust Theater here on deck 7. Now we're going to drop down to deck 6, and just like on deck 7, at the very front is the Stardust Theater. Starting with the entry into Stardust Theater, it has a very classic feel to it. It's really quite lovely, lots of reds and golds, and harkening back to the golden age of theater. The theater itself is quite large. It goes across 3 decks, 5, 6, and 7, with access on decks 6 and 7. It's a big open space. And we're going to turn now and exit out. And we're going to head into the casino. The casino itself has been updated quite nicely. You see it's got a very good selection of slots machines, both newer, more modern games, as well as older, more traditional games. Additionally, in the middle of the floor, they have all the tables. They've got blackjack, they got poker, they've got craps. On our sailing, even though it is a smoking casino, it was never too smoky in there. It was pretty popular. Tucked away in the far corner of the casino as well, they have a high rollers room. And they've got a nice casino bar as well. Generally well staffed, pretty easy to get a drink. However, there was not service coming around, so definitely the scenario where when you need a drink, you need to head to the bar. Continuing back on deck 6, we're going to come into that secondary atrium we saw up in the Asian Garden, which is another one of the main spots to go at night. There's 3 different bars here, which we'll come back to here in a second, but as we pan around, we'll see Le Bistro, which is the French restaurant, as well as the cigar lounge, and then a stage where they do performances at night, which of course fills up above as well with the Asian Garden. We're going to turn and walk over here, and we're going to walk our way over towards the cigar lounge. The cigar lounge, you can either bring your own cigars, or they do have cigars available for purchase. And we're going to turn now and head into La Bistro, which is the French specialty restaurant. Really is a lovely space. It's very elegant. The lighting and the decor, very upscale. We found the food here to be absolutely stunning. Now continuing on outside, you'll see the Magnum Champagne Bar. And then as we continue on, we're going to come to the Martini and Cocktail Bar. and then we're going to come to Maltings, which is the whiskey and beer bar. You'll see in all these areas very comfortable seating. At night when they're playing music kind of fills the whole space. It's got a great chill vibe. Exiting, we'll be at Midship here on deck 6, and we're going to come to one of the two main dining rooms, which is Magenta. Really has a understated yet beautiful appearance. Lots of light from the windows on both sides. Leaving there, we're going to hop back up to deck 7 to access the other main dining room, Grand Pacific, which, although Grand Pacific is located on deck 6, you have to access it from the back of deck 7. So, in between where Bliss Ultra Lounge is, Grand Pacific is the bigger of the two main dining rooms. Quite lovely and stately, with great views, 180 degrees all the way around. Thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe.